Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in every life when the mask of another falls and we see their true intentions. Some wounds are accidental, but others are inflicted with precision, with purpose, and with no regard for the scars they leave behind. Stay with me until the end of this message, because today we're going to explore a powerful truth that could change your life forever. When someone hurts you intentionally, it's not just the act itself that cuts deep, it's the realization that they meant for it to happen. They knew what they were doing. They calculated the words, the actions, the betrayal, and they followed through. Pause there just for a moment and let that sink in. Think about the sheer weight of such a decision. To harm, to damage, to cause you pain, and to do so deliberately. What does that say about them? More importantly, what does it demand of you? We often find ourselves grappling with the idea of forgiveness, with the notion that we must let go, move on, and perhaps give them another chance. Society whispers to us that forgiveness is noble, that it's healing, that it's the path to peace. And yes, forgiveness has its place. But there's something they don't tell you. Forgiveness does not mean inviting someone back into your life to repeat the same cruelty. It doesn't mean lowering your guard for a person who saw your vulnerabilities and exploited them. Forgiveness is not an open door, it is a closed chapter. Consider the intent behind their actions. Not the excuses they gave after. Not the words they used to dress it up, soften it, make it palatable. Strip all that away. Look at the bare, unadulterated truth. They chose to hurt you. It wasn't a misstep or a momentary lapse in judgment. It was a deliberate act, calculated to leave a mark on you. And what of the mark it left? Did it heal easily? Or does it still throb sometimes when you least expect it? You see, there's a kind of damage that goes beyond the surface. It doesn't just bruise the skin or even break the bone. It seeps into your spirit, into the fabric of who you are, shaking the very foundation of your trust in others and in yourself. It whispers to you in moments of quiet, how could I have let this happen? It makes you question your judgment, your choices, your ability to see people for who they really are. But let me tell you something. That questioning isn't a weakness, it's a gift. Because in those moments you have the chance to understand something profound. Their actions weren't about you. Their decision to harm was never a reflection of your worth. It was, and always will be, a reflection of who they are. And who are they? Someone who looked at your kindness and mistook it for weakness. Someone who saw your openness and decided it was an invitation to take. Someone who observed your trust and thought it was something to be exploited. When you understand this truly deeply, you begin to see why the idea of a second chance becomes not just misguided, but dangerous. Imagine allowing them back into your life, handing them the very tools they used to hurt you and saying, here, try again. What do you think they would do with those tools? People who harm with intent rarely change without consequence. They thrive in the absence of accountability, and they repeat their actions when given the opportunity. So the question is not whether they deserve a second chance. The question is, do you deserve to endure their harm again? The answer, if you'll allow yourself to admit it, is no. Your heart, your mind, your soul, they are precious. They deserve to be nurtured, protected, and surrounded by people who recognize their value. People who intentionally damage you have already shown you that they do not see your worth. They don't honor your boundaries, they don't respect your humanity, and they don't cherish the connection they had with you. It's a hard truth to face, isn't it? To accept that someone you cared for, someone you trusted, could harm you with intent. But facing it is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Because once you see them clearly, you can no longer pretend. You can no longer make excuses for them or for yourself. And that clarity, it is painful, yes, but it is also liberating. Liberation. That's what this is about. The freedom to step away from the person who hurt you. the freedom to refuse them a second chance, the freedom to protect yourself without guilt, without hesitation, without shame. And yet I know how hard it is to say no, how difficult it is to walk away, because deep down there's a part of you, a tender, compassionate part that wants to believe in their redemption, that wants to believe they've changed, that this time will be different. But I ask you, how many times must you burn your hand on the same flame before you realize it will always hurt? The nature of fire does not change, and neither does the nature of someone who harms with intent, unless they take it upon themselves to change, and even then, that journey is theirs to walk, not yours to facilitate. You are not their savior. You are not their second chance. You are not the canvas upon which they get to paint their redemption. So stop carrying the weight of their actions. Stop doubting your instincts. Stop wondering if you're being too harsh, too unforgiving, too unkind. You're not. You're being wise. You're being strong. You're being exactly what you need to be to heal, to grow, and to protect the beauty of your own spirit. Value yourself. Truly, deeply, unapologetically. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Let it stir something in you. To value yourself is not just an act of defiance against the world, but an act of reverence for your own existence. It is to acknowledge that your heart, your soul, and your mind are treasures not to be placed in the hands of those who see them as anything less. And yet, how often do we forget? How often do we hand over the keys to our peace, our joy, our very sanity, to people who have already proven they do not deserve them? Why do we do it? Out of hope? Out of fear? Perhaps out of a misguided belief that their behavior was somehow a reflection of us. It wasn't. When someone hurts you deliberately, it's not because you are unworthy of kindness, of love, or of respect. It's because they lack the capacity or the will to honor those things in others. They see the value in you, yes, but instead of cherishing it, they exploit it. Instead of protecting it, they undermine it. Instead of uplifting you, they break you. And here's the cruel irony: it is often those who care the most, those who feel the deepest, who allow it to happen. Why? Because we tell ourselves that maybe, just maybe, if we give them another chance, they will see us for who we truly are. Maybe they will change. Maybe this time will be different. But how many times has that belief led only to more pain, more betrayal, more sleepless nights spent replaying their actions, wondering what you did wrong? Let me tell you this: nothing. You did nothing wrong. The error was not in your kindness, your trust, or your love. The error was in their inability to respect what you offered them. And so you must choose. Will you continue to place your worth in their hands, hoping they'll hold it with care? Or will you take it back, piece by piece, until it is yours again, whole, unbroken, and untouchable? This is not an easy choice. It never is. Because valuing yourself means drawing boundaries, and boundaries often come with silence. They come with distance. They come with the difficult truth that some people cannot and will not stay in your life if you demand they treat you with respect. But that is their choice, not yours. And their absence, though painful, will never compare to the pain of their continued presence in your life, bringing harm. To value yourself is to say no more second chances for those who have squandered the first. No more explanations for behavior that was never acceptable. No more tolerating what should have been intolerable. Do you feel that resistance inside you? That voice that says, but they might change? They might mean it this time? That is your hope speaking. And while hope is a beautiful thing, it is not a strategy for survival. It is not a reason to ignore what you already know to be true. People who damage you intentionally do not do so out of ignorance. They do it because they see an opportunity, and they take it. To value yourself is to remove that opportunity entirely. It is to close the door and lock it, not out of spite, but out of love for yourself. Think of what you have endured. Think of the tears you've cried, the energy you've spent trying to make sense of their actions. Think of how it felt to be betrayed, to be disrespected, to be hurt by someone you trusted. And then ask yourself, is this what you deserve? Is this the life you envision for yourself? No, it isn't. You deserve peace. You deserve safety. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect, not power dynamics where one person takes and the other gives endlessly until there is nothing left. Do you see it now? Do you feel the shift within you? That spark of defiance, that ember of self-respect reigniting? Let it grow. Let it consume the doubt, the fear, the hesitation. Let it remind you of who you are and what you are worth. You are not here to be used, to be broken, or to be a lesson in someone else's journey. You are here to live, to thrive, to surround yourself with people who see your value and honor it. So let the ones who hurt you go. Not because you hate them, not because you wish them ill, but because you love yourself too much to stay. Because you have decided that your peace is worth more than their chaos. Because you are done questioning your worth in the shadow of their actions. And if they come back with apologies, with promises, with words sweet enough to make you doubt again, remember this moment. Remember what it felt like to reclaim yourself. Remember what it took to get here. And remember that valuing yourself is not a one-time decision, it is a daily practice. Choose yourself every single time. Pain is a strange teacher, isn't it? It arrives uninvited, unwanted, yet it leaves behind lessons we could never have learned otherwise. We don't seek it, but it finds us often in the shadows of betrayal, in the echoes of harsh words, or in the deafening silence of someone's absence. And when it does, we are left to wrestle with it, to understand it, to somehow make sense of it. But here's the truth: stark and undeniable pain is inevitable. None of us escapes it. None of us goes through life unscarred. And yet, how often do we look at our pain and ask, why me? How often do we see it as an interruption, an injustice, a punishment? What if instead we saw it as an opportunity? A chance to grow, to evolve, to emerge from the fire, not burned but refined. Pause for a moment and consider this: every time you've been hurt, every time you've been broken, you've also been given a choice. A choice to let that pain define you, to let it diminish you, or to let it teach you, to let it transform you into something greater. It's not easy. No one said it would be. Growth never is. Growth is uncomfortable. It's messy. It requires you to confront parts of yourself you'd rather ignore: the fear, the anger, the doubt. But in that confrontation, something extraordinary happens. You learn about yourself, about your strength, about what truly matters to you. You learn who you can trust, and perhaps more importantly, who you can't. You learn that even in your darkest moments, there is a light within you that cannot be extinguished. And that light, it is resilient, unyielding, defiant. It is the part of you that refuses to be defeated no matter how many times you fall. It is the part of you that gets up again and again because it knows that every fall is not an end, but a beginning. You see, pain has a way of stripping away the superficial, the unnecessary. It forces you to look at life with raw honesty. It makes you question, what do I truly want? Who do I truly want to be? And those questions, they are the beginning of transformation. Transformation. That's what this is about. Not just surviving your pain, but using it, turning it into fuel, into fire, into something that propels you forward. Think about it. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest flames. The most beautiful art often emerges from the deepest sorrow. And you are no different. The pain you've endured, the scars you carry, they are not marks of weakness. They are badges of survival. They are proof that you have faced the worst and come through the other side. But survival is not enough, is it? To simply exist after the pain is not the same as thriving because of it. and thriving that requires you to learn from your pain. What did it teach you? Did it teach you that you deserve better? That you are stronger than you thought? That you are capable of enduring more than you ever imagined? Did it show you the cracks in your life, the toxic relationships, the unfulfilled dreams, the self-doubt that held you back? Look closely. The lessons are there. They've always been there, waiting for you to see them. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. You cannot go back to who you were before the pain. But why would you want to? Who you are now, who you are becoming, that person is wiser, braver, more aware. That person has the potential to live a life that is not just bigger but deeper, richer, more meaningful. So take the pain, hold it in your hands, examine it, understand it, and then let it fuel you. Let it remind you of your resilience, your courage, your ability to rise. Let it push you to create the life you deserve, the life you've always dreamed of but perhaps never believed you could have. Because you can. Every tear, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt, it all leads you here, to this point. The point where you decide that your pain will not define you but refine you. The point where you turn your wounds into wisdom, your scars into strength, your past into power. And as you do, you will find something extraordinary: freedom. Freedom from the weight of what hurt you. Freedom from the anger, the bitterness, the regret. Freedom to live not as a victim of your pain, but as the author of your story. This is what it means to learn from pain. To take the very thing that tried to break you and use it to build something unbreakable. To let your pain not be an anchor, but a foundation. To let it not be a reminder of what you've lost, but of what you've gained. Because what you've gained, that is what will carry you forward. That is what will make all the difference. And that is what will remind you every single day of just how far you've come. Trust is a fragile thing, isn't it? A delicate thread spun from the fibers of hope, belief, and vulnerability. It connects us to others, binding our hearts, our lives to theirs. But when that thread snaps, when trust is broken, it doesn't just unravel, it leaves a void, a cold and aching emptiness that seems impossible to fill. The betrayal cuts deep, doesn't it? Not just because someone lied or deceived, but because they held something sacred in their hands, your trust, and chose to discard it. It's the choice that wounds the most. The decision to disregard the sanctity of what you gave freely, perhaps too freely. And what do we do with that pain? We question ourselves. We question everything. Could I have seen it coming? Was it something I did? Should I have known better? The weight of those questions presses against your chest, constricting every breath, until doubt becomes a constant companion. But let me tell you something, you must listen closely to this. Their betrayal was not your failure. It wasn't a reflection of your worth or your wisdom. It was their choice, one born of their own flaws, their own insecurities, their own inability to honor what was given to them. And yet, here you are, holding the remnants of that trust, shattered and scattered around you. What do you do now? Do you try to piece it back together, offering it to them once more, hoping, praying that this time will be different? No, you cannot. You see, trust, once broken, is not so easily mended. It is not a simple thing to repair. It takes time. Oh, how much time it takes. Time to rebuild the foundation, to smooth the cracks, to convince yourself against every instinct to try again. And even then, even with the greatest effort, the scars remain. But here's the deeper truth: some people are not worthy of that effort. Not everyone who breaks your trust deserves another chance to hold it. Think of the moments they betrayed you. Replay them in your mind, not to dwell on the pain, but to understand the choice they made. Were they careless or were they intentional? Did they falter once, or was their betrayal a pattern, a habit, a way of being? It matters, doesn't it? The intention, the repetition, the lack of remorse. It all matters because it tells you who they are. And knowing who they are gives you the clarity to decide who you will be in response. And who will you be? Will you be the one who bends, who compromises, who offers trust like a gift they can squander again and again? Or will you be the one who says enough? The one who chooses to protect their peace, their heart, their soul, by refusing to place it in the hands of someone who has proven unworthy. It is not bitterness that drives this choice. It is wisdom. It is the understanding that trust is precious, and precious things must be guarded. Not hidden away, not locked behind walls so high that no one can climb them, but protected. Offered carefully, thoughtfully, to those who have earned it and will treasure it. You must understand this: it is not cruelty to withhold trust from someone who has broken it. It is self-respect. It is the acknowledgement that you are not a fool to be played, nor a well from which they can draw endlessly without giving anything in return. You have to know your worth. Feel it. Embrace it. Carry it with you as a shield, not to keep everyone out, but to keep the wrong ones from getting in. To keep those who would harm you from taking more than they already have. And when they come back, oh, they often do, don't they? With apologies, with promises, with words that seem so sincere, so convincing, you must remember. Remember not just what they say, but what they did. Because words are easy. Actions are truth. Look into their eyes. Listen to their voice. But more than that, observe their deeds. Have they changed? Have they grown? Have they done the work, the real work, to earn back what they lost? If they haven't, you know what you must do. It will hurt. It always does. To say no, to walk away, to close a door you once opened so willingly, it is a kind of loss. But it is also a kind of liberation. A declaration that your heart, your trust, your life is not theirs to mishandle. You owe it to yourself, to the person you are and the person you are becoming, to guard your trust with the reverence it deserves. To offer it not to those who ask, but to those who prove themselves worthy. Because trust, my dear, is a gift, a sacred, precious gift, and not everyone deserves to hold it. Forgiveness, a word that carries both hope and hesitation. It promises healing, yet it demands so much of us. The world speaks of it as a virtue, an act of grace. Forgive, they say, and you shall find peace. But they seldom speak of the weight it places on the heart, the trembling courage it takes to stand before the ruins someone else created and whisper, "I forgive." It's not weakness, though it may feel that way at first. Forgiveness is not surrendering to the pain or absolving someone of their choices without consequence. No, forgiveness is something far more profound, far more powerful. It is not about them, it is about you. There is a wound, isn't there? A deep wound left by their actions, their words, their silence. You've carried it, haven't you? For days, months, perhaps years. You've carried it like a stone, heavy and unyielding, pressing against your chest, weighing down your every step. And the pain, oh, the pain. It demands your attention, doesn't it? It whispers to you in the quiet moments, reminding you of what was done, of what was lost. It feeds on your anger, your resentment, growing stronger with each passing day, until one day you realize that this pain, this burden, is no longer something they inflicted upon you, it is something you continue to carry. That is the moment, the pivotal moment, where forgiveness begins to make sense. Not as a gift to them, but as a release for yourself. It's not about letting them off the hook. It's not about pretending it never happened. It's about setting down the weight you've carried for far too long. Forgiveness does not mean you forget. How could you? The memories remain etched into your mind, shaping who you are and how you see the world. Forgiveness does not erase them, nor should it. Those memories, as painful as they may be, hold lessons. They teach you about boundaries, about trust, about who you are and what you deserve. But forgiveness allows you to reclaim those memories, to strip them of their power over you. It allows you to say, yes, this happened, Yes, it hurt, but I will not let it define me. I will not let it control me. I will not let it hold me prisoner. Do you see the strength in that? Do you feel the courage it takes to make that choice? Because it is a choice, a difficult, deliberate choice to let go of the anger, the bitterness, the need for revenge. Revenge, after all, is a seductive thing. It promises satisfaction, justice, closure, but does it ever deliver? No. It leaves you empty, hollow, clutching at the remnants of your pain as if they were trophies. Revenge chains you to the past, while forgiveness, true forgiveness, frees you to step forward into the future. And what of the other person? What of the one who hurt you? Do they deserve your forgiveness? Perhaps not. Perhaps they never will. But forgiveness is not about deserving, it is about choosing. Choosing to rise above, to let go of the need for them to validate your pain or seek your absolution. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. It does not mean inviting them back into your life. Some wounds are too deep, some betrayals too profound for that. Forgiveness is not about them, it is about you. It is about finding peace within yourself, regardless of their actions or inactions. It is a journey, not a moment. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes strength. Some days you will feel as if you've let it go, only for the pain to resurface, raw and unrelenting. That's all right. That's part of the process. Be kind to yourself in those moments. Allow yourself to feel the pain, to acknowledge it, to honor it, and then let it pass. Each time you do, it loses a little more of its hold on you. Each time you grow a little stronger. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, it is a testament to your strength. It is a declaration that your life, your happiness, your peace is worth more than the pain someone else caused. It is a decision to choose yourself, to prioritize your well-being over the desire to see them suffer. And as you forgive, as you release the anger, the bitterness, the hurt, you will find something extraordinary waiting for you on the other side: freedom. Freedom to live without the shadow of their actions hanging over you. Freedom to feel joy, to find love, to embrace the life you deserve. It won't be easy, it never is, but it will be worth it. Because forgiveness in its truest form is not about them, it is about reclaiming yourself. It is about finding the strength to move forward, unburdened and unbroken. Healing is not a straight path, is it? It's a winding road, uneven and uncertain, filled with turns you never expected, and moments that take your breath away, sometimes in pain, sometimes in awe. It is not clean, nor is it simple. Healing is messy, chaotic, and utterly human. There is no manual for this journey, no step-by-step guide to tell you what to do, how to feel, or when it will be over. And maybe that's the hardest part, not knowing when the ache will subside, when the nights will feel less heavy, when the sharp edges of memory will dull. But you keep going, don't you? Because you have no other choice. At first it feels impossible. The pain is too vast, too overwhelming. It consumes every thought, every breath, every moment. You can't imagine a day when it won't hurt this much, when it won't feel as though a part of you is missing, lost, shattered beyond repair. But you wake up the next day, and the next, and somehow, despite it all, you keep moving. Maybe it's slow, painfully slow. Maybe you don't feel like you're moving at all, but you are. Each breath you take, each step you make, is a testament to your strength, your resilience, your refusal to let the pain win. And there are moments when it all feels too much. When the weight of it threatens to pull you under, and you wonder if you'll ever feel whole again. Those are the moments that test you, that push you to your limits, and those are the moments that shape you. You see, healing is not about forgetting. It's not about pretending the pain never happened, or erasing the scars it left behind. No, healing is about carrying those scars with pride, as proof of what you've endured, of what you've overcome. Because those scars, they are not signs of weakness. They are marks of survival, of courage, of the incredible power within you to keep going, to keep living, to keep hoping, even when it feels impossible. And slowly, ever so slowly, the pain begins to change. It doesn't go away, not entirely, but it softens. It becomes a part of you, woven into the fabric of who you are. And with time, you learn to live with it, to carry it without letting it define you. Healing is not linear. There will be setbacks, moments when the pain resurfaces, sharp and sudden, like a wound reopened. But these moments, they are not failures. They are reminders that healing is a process, a journey, not a destination. Be gentle with yourself in these moments. Allow yourself to feel the pain, the anger, the sadness. Don't push it away or bury it deep inside. Feel it, acknowledge it, let it wash over you, and then let it pass. Because it will pass. That's the thing about pain, it ebbs and flows like the tide. It may feel endless, but it's not. It comes in waves, and with each wave, you grow stronger, more capable of withstanding its force. And along the way, you'll find things, small things that bring you comfort, that remind you there is still beauty in the world, still joy to be found. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, the kindness of a stranger. These moments, they are glimmers of hope, of light breaking through the darkness. Hold on to them. Cherish them. Let them remind you why you keep going, why you keep fighting. Because there is a life waiting for you beyond the pain, a life full of possibility, of love, of wonder. But it takes time. It takes patience. And it takes an incredible amount of courage. Courage to face the pain, to confront the memories, to allow yourself to feel everything you've been avoiding. Because healing doesn't happen in the absence of pain, it happens through it. It happens when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, to confront the hurt, to open yourself up to the possibility of something better. And yes, it's terrifying. To let go of the anger, the resentment, the walls you've built to protect yourself, it feels like stepping into the unknown, unguarded and exposed. But it is only by letting go that you can truly move forward. Healing is not about being the person you were before. It's about becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone wiser. It's about taking the broken pieces and creating something beautiful, something uniquely yours. And as you heal, you'll find that the pain no longer controls you. It no longer defines you. It becomes a part of your story, but not the whole story. You are more than your pain, more than your scars. You are a survivor, a warrior, a testament to the incredible strength of the human spirit. And that is something no one can take away from you.